Non-oil revenues now contribute nearly 3/4 of total government collections.
National Economic Council holds first meeting in 2026, boosting non-oil sector tops agenda. European Union removes Nigeria from high-risk money laundering list. Rivers State House of Assembly insists on impeachment process against Governor Fubara.
Our decision to proceed is informed by the following.
Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Lami Ali. Joining me from Lagos is Awal Yusuf Jibo. Benny Adams is on our business segment. So Benny, how was the market at the close of business today?
Well, the market was a bit slow, but sharing news for exporters of Nigeria into the United States of America as the U.S. Congress is reconsidering reauthorization of the AGOA deal, which allows for exports into the U.S. at low or zero tariffs.
And on the sports corner, we have Ayo Deji Makinde with the latest from the world of sports. Ayo.
High optimism as the Super Eagles of Nigeria take on the Pharaohs of Egypt in the third place of the Africa Cup of Nations on Saturday. Of course, it will be live on the NTA.
So we watch out and keep our fingers crossed. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. We begin with the Economic Council. Now, the National Economic Council has resolved to deepen engagements with stakeholders to boost non-oil revenue in line with the federal government's economic blueprints. The Council, at its maiden meeting in 2026, also approved the constitution of a committee on the implementation of the President's directive on the actualization of legacy projects. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila brings us the details.
Chairman of the Council, Vice President Kashim Shettima, called for accelerated transition from oil to non-oil economy through competitive manufacturing, export diversification, and private sector investment.
There's a structural shift underway that deserves recognition. The non-oil economy has emerged as the backbone of our growth story. Today, it accounts for about 96% of GDP and is expanding at roughly 4%. Services, agriculture, and other non-oil sectors are increasingly carrying the weight of the economy. More importantly, non-oil revenues now contribute nearly 3/4 of total government collections. This marks a significant, if gradual, departure from our historic dependence on volatile oil receipts.
The Legacy Projects Committee is chaired by Governor of Cross River State, while governors of Sokoto, Gombe, Niger, Abia, and Lagos are members, with ministers of Works, Transportation, and Permanent Secretary Budget and Economic Planning will serve as secretary.
To help with the issues arising from legacy projects and transformational projects in the Renewed Hope agenda, as well as projects that require cooperation between the different tiers of government, particularly land issues.
NEC also received a presentation on the economic priorities for 2026 by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, highlighting key reforms implemented by the Tinubu administration, including targeted programs that have removed distortions in the system, stabilized the economy, and put Nigeria on the path of sustained recovery and prosperity.
Hasn't happened in the last few years. The key priorities, according to that presentation, have to do with maintaining Nigeria's economic competitiveness through sound governance, improved availability and affordability of food, very critical, ensuring human capital development with improved social protection.
The presentation also reflected the country's current global recognition, which is reinforcing investor confidence in the economy projected to grow at 4.68% in 2026. Council lauded the proposed World Bank Group Country Partnership Framework consultations, which among others expects to invest in young Nigerians, thereby delivering early results for Nigeria's children and the future of work.
How they intend to engage with Nigeria over the next 10 years, and he highlighted human capital development, resilience, and of particular note, early child. He indicated that their current portfolio of $17 billion, they will do more.
Also, the Council received update on Nigeria's tax reform laws presented by Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee. Council resolved to take a more robust engagement on the new tax regime at its forthcoming conference in February. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Conakry, the capital of Guinea, to represent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the inauguration of President-elect Mamadi Doumbouya. The Vice President was received by senior Guinean government officials and members of the Nigerian diplomatic corps ahead of the official ceremony, which is scheduled to take place on Saturday, January 17th at the GLC Stadium in Nungo. The inauguration of President Doumbouya follows his victory in the December 2025 general elections, signaling the formal end of a 4-year military transition. The Vice President's attendance at the inauguration affirms Nigeria's leadership role within the economic community of West African states and its commitment to the restoration of constitutional order across the sub-region. The visit also serves as a strategic mission to expand the economic corridor between the two West African nations. Now, Nigeria has recorded a major international milestone in its fight against money laundering, terrorism financing and arms proliferation financing following the official removal from the European Union's list of high-risk countries for anti-money laundering and terrorism financing. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, credited President Bola Tinubu's leadership, strong political will and reforms across government agencies for the achievements. He noted that Nigeria has significantly strengthened its AML-CFT framework, boosting the nation's global financial credibility. The minister praised the collaborative efforts of regulators, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, law enforcement, the judiciary and the private sector, and reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to sustaining these reforms and working closely with international partners to keep its financial system transparent and aligned with global standards. The removal is expected to ease business transactions between Nigeria and European entities, improve banking relationships, and boost investor confidence in Africa's largest economy. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is laying strong foundation for long-term growth and shared prosperity. The minister reaffirmed this when he received members of the Grassroots Advocacy for Tinubu GATT 2027 on a courtesy visit. In a statement by the Special Assistant to the Minister, Rabiu Ibrahim, the minister said the administration has taken bold and sometimes difficult decisions to place Nigeria on a more sustainable path, emphasizing that early signs of recovery are becoming evident across key sectors of the economy. The minister commended the GATT 2027 group for its civic engagements and acceptance of responsibility in supporting accurate public information and welcomed the group's proposal for partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in the areas of public enlightenment, youth engagement and strategic communication. He said President Tinubu is committed to making Nigeria work for all citizens, regardless of religion or background, stressing that national cohesion remains central to the administration's vision. The GATT 2027 National Coordinator, Professor Ochugudu Achoda Ipwele, said the group came to formally brief the minister on its activities and to show solidarity with his mandate of informing Nigerians and clarifying government's policies. We move to Rivers, where the State House of Assembly says it is still going ahead with the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the Deputy Governor, Professor Ngozi Odu, on the grounds of gross misconduct. Nkiru Onyejesi reports that this was at a briefing which was immediately followed by House sitting, presided over by the Speaker, Martin Emehule. Here is the report.
Speaker Dumle Mao says the impeachment process has nothing to do with ethnicity, but constitutional, especially as the governor and his deputy has gone against Section 188 of the Constitution. Other lawmakers also reiterated their commitment to ensuring they carry out their constitutional duties for the progress of the state.
We concluded that there is indeed the need to proceed. This is a decision of all of us, including members who had the opportunity to address the media few days ago and those who had already decided not to proceed but changed their positions. Our decision to proceed is informed by the following. 1, the governor and the deputy governor do not have any intention to stop disobeying the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as altered.
The governor and deputy governor are ignoring us. And regarding the House of Assembly, to the background.
The members unanimously voted in support of investigation of allegations of gross misconduct against Governor Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu. Speaker Martin Emehule decried that the voting clearly shows the decision of the House and called on the State Chief Judge to set up a panel of investigation.
The Rivers State House of Assembly has resolved that investigations against allegations of gross misconduct leveled against Governor of Rivers State should proceed with the next level of this investigation.
Sitting has been adjourned to next week Tuesday in Port Harcourt. Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
In a related development, a Rivers State High Court sitting in Uibo local government area has stepped into the escalating political crisis in Rivers State, issuing an interim injunction that temporarily halts further action on the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu. The court, in a ruling, restrained the Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Chiki Amewule, 32 other defendants, clerk of the House, and the Chief Judge from taking any step to advance the impeachment process pending the determination of the matter. Justice Florence Fiberesima, who granted the prayer of Governor Fubara and his deputy, also directed that the Chief Judge be served with the court papers through any staff of the judiciary at his chambers within the High Court premises. Justice Fiberesima has now adjourned the matter to January 23rd, 2026. As Nigeria marks 70 years of federal system of government, stakeholders postulate that for the country to get it right, there is need for continuous constitutional reforms and restructuring. This was during a one-day public lecture on federalism in Nigeria, organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Nigeria's federal system is believed to be unique in Africa, significant in the developing world. The lecture is to interrogate and reflect on the system of federalism landscape in Nigeria at 70, development and challenges.
The fact that, unlike in other federations, the Nigerian Center has had this capacity to basically create and recreate constituent units. You won't find that in a classic, a coming together federation.
Experts enumerated areas that need urgent redress that occupy an intermediate position between mononational and multinational models of federalism.
Federalism lies at the very heart of Nigeria's constitutional architecture. It reflects our diversity, our history, and our continuing quest to build a stable, inclusive, and prosperous nation.
We can be better than any federal system in the world, and we can be the best democracy in the world.
They believe that by interference, a more dynamic and equitable intergovernmental fiscal design is required to sustain and consolidate Nigeria's remarkable system of federalism for national unity. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTN.
We have more stories after the break. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Patti, says expanding health insurance coverage remains central to achieving universal health coverage in Nigeria. He was speaking alongside the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Kelechi Ohiri, as the commissioning of the NHIA prototype building in Owerri, Imo State. The minister described the commissioning as a significant milestone in Nigeria's drive to strengthen the health insurance system and expand financial protection for citizens. Professor Patti says if more states replicate the progress recorded in Imo State, Nigeria could achieve near universal health coverage in a much shorter period. He expressed appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for providing clear policy direction for a healthier, safer and more productive Nigeria, noting that Imo State's efforts strongly complement the President's vision for an equitable and resilient health system.
The significance of this in the context of what our country is trying to accomplish in terms of expanding financial protection. It's so vital that we continue to make progress in expanding access, but also in expanding coverage for all Nigerians.
With glory to God, today we have finally come to a point of completion so that the NHIA staff can have a befitting location to actually work to the benefit of all Nigerians.
The Ministries of Defense and Interior are set to establish a high-level ministerial platform that will meet periodically to proactively address emerging security challenges across the country. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, stated this during a working visit to the Ministry of Interior. General Musa described the Interior Ministry as a critical pillar in ensuring Nigeria's safety, security and national development, assuring that both ministries will strengthen strategic collaboration in the fight against internal security threats and the defense of the nation's territorial integrity.
Seamless and institutionalized framework for collaboration in the interest of Nigeria's peace and stability, which we feel and we believe is the way out. We recognize the complex and evolving security challenges facing our nation. These threats often originate or manifest internally but have external dimensions and vice versa. There is no one single organization that can achieve this alone. Yeah. We must work like a team. I have confidence that a stronger alliance will significantly enhance national security, public safety, and citizen confidence.
If you cannot protect your border, then obviously you cannot guarantee the safety of your people. Yeah. So the issue of the border is one area that we really need to actually work very closely together on. We're not here to compete with the military. We're here to complement and to offer support. We're here to work together and to ensure that there's a robust handshake between our various agencies.
On threat assessment, General Christopher Musa called for increased deployments of technology, enhanced joint operations and improved intelligence sharing. He also urged Nigerians to remain patriotic and support national security efforts by promoting positive image and unity of the country. Now, the National Space Research and Development Agency and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have entered a strategic partnership to deploy geospatial intelligence and space-based technologies in the fight against crime and regulatory violations in Nigeria's space sector. Justin Bemungi will bring us the details.
The partnership was formalized with the signing of a memorandum of understanding at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja. NASDAQ Director General Dr. Matthew Adekboju described the agreement as a major boost for national security, accountability and compliance within Nigeria's rapidly expanding space ecosystem. Dr. Adekboju said the collaboration would strengthen the enforcement of national space regulations, improve spectrum management, and enhance oversight of both local and international operators.
I'm able to say that the country is bleeding on many fronts. That's why Mr. President has given us the nod to mainstream the space technology into the revenue leakages and ensure that the country derives maximum benefit.
For us, we will support you in the area of your fraud risk assessment, and for you, you also support us in promoting our investigative capacity. Where our eyes cannot get to, with the aid of your technology, you'll be able to lead us there.
The partnership is expected to significantly boost crime detection, asset recovery, and regulatory enforcement. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
In a world where criminals hide behind keyboards, encrypted wallets and fake identities, the Nigerian police force is fighting back, not with guesswork, but with science. Francis Form in this report tells us measures being taken to address the challenge.
This training is to help me build on the experience as well as the knowledge gained thus far.
CSP Victor Edaiku, Deputy Force Public Relations Officer, and CSP Agaisa, Head of the Police Public Complaints Bureau, are among the 300 senior officers attending the training. Many seasoned investigators, despite decades of service, admitted this was the first time they truly confronted the future of policing.
And we need to be, ahead of these criminals. If they are taking one step, we should be taking 2 steps, so that we can dominate the space.
For the representative of the IGP, CP Afolabi Wilfred, the Inspector General of Police approved the program to equip officers with modern investigative skills, deepen professionalism, and upgrade human-based policing to global standards.
Course participants should take advantage of this training to learn new skills in policing. A thoroughly trained police officer is a great asset to the police institution.
In today's world, every investigator must think like a forensic analyst. Every crime leaves a trace, digital, financial, behavioral, or physical.
From hunch-driven investigations to evidence-led convictions, the NPF is redefining the future of policing, with senior officers now armed with modern tools, sharper insight, and renewed purpose. Francis from NTA News.
We take another set of messages. A single drop of water may seem insignificant, but every ocean begins with a drop. In the face of one of Nigeria's greatest social crises, the over 10 million out-of-school children, it is precisely these small persistent drops that are creating waves of change. Among the change makers is BKM Group, a non-profit, non-governmental organization founded by Susan Levy. The mission is to provide a launchpad for people to thrive. The focus is on vulnerable children, the destitute and the orphaned. The message is of hope and redemption. This report is brought to you courtesy of Solution Journalism Initiative.
An estimated 10 to 11 million Nigerian children between the ages of 5 and 15 are reportedly out of school. In the heart of the nation, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, the statistics are especially disturbing, with the city alone accounting for nearly 12.8% of this figure. The implications: a generation at risk, a future uncertain. But in the face of this, hope is rising.
We go to the suburb of the community. We picked these children that don't go to school, or there are some children that have been out of school, hawking on the street for a while. We started by doing what we call home lesson, which we do every Saturday. As you can see, call some teachers who voluntarily join us into it.
Take Chinanu God First, a 23-year-old, lost in the shadows of neglect. But through Susan's intervention, he was discovered, enrolled and nurtured, back into the system. Today, he is a proud 300-level student at the University of Abuja, a living proof that one opportunity can change a life and, by extension, the society.
I'm that child that have a mind that no matter anything, even if I lost my parents early time, that I must attend to university. I just wrote JAMB, but I don't know where the thing is coming, where the money will come from. So when God brought her on my way, Jesus Christ, I cannot even believe it that time. It's just moving smoothly from acceptance fee to school fees. From that time till this final year, that have been the one, everything, feeding, everything. That, and I also pray that God will bless me one day. I will join them in this day because I love what they are doing.
There is also Frank, a 15-year-old who had nearly slipped through the cracks. But he too was found, supported and guided to complete his secondary education. And the results, outstanding.
I got E1 in computer science, E1 in chemistry, E1 in biology, E3 in physics, 5 E's, then the rest are C's.
Another brilliant mind rescued, another story rewritten.
There's been great improvement. We had like 2 children. They couldn't even, recite their ABCD and their 1, 2, 3s. But now they've really improved. There's serious improvement. The children are doing better in their school. It makes me very happy as a teacher.
These are not isolated cases. They represent a rising tide of transformation. Young boys and girls, many from broken homes, some orphaned, and others carrying the scars of trauma too deep to forget. Yet, within the safe schools of the beloved Kindness Max Care Foundation, their lives are being pieced back together with the hope of better opportunities and a brighter future.
We have one that will be graduating next year, 2026. We also have 2 students going in 2025/2026 academic session as undergraduates. Then we have numerous students in primary school and secondary school. We pay their school fees. We know that a trained child is a changed destiny. If you don't train these children, they will bring issues to the society tomorrow.
Here, knowledge is given freely, and so is food. Not just to fill stomachs, but to free the mind and encourage consistent school attendance. For the past 5 years, the foundation has not only addressed illiteracy, but also tackled hunger and poverty head-on. Over 2,000 children and counting have been lifted from the statistics, from despair into light of opportunity.
It's not been easy, it's been very challenging. September, we have paid over secondary school, university, school fees, and it's been very, very challenging. And we are still having many more that we need to pay.
A single candle can light thousands more. If Susan Levy's example is followed by others, then millions will become hundreds of thousands. And in the end, those little drops would have pulled an entire nation forward and changed the fortunes of society. Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
Business News with Bunny is next.
Thank you, Lami. And talking business, we start by telling you that the bill to renew African Growth and Opportunity Act, that is AGOA, has passed the U.S. House of Representatives without objection. The bill passed with 340 votes in favor and 54 against, with the House Ways and Means Committee saying AGOA remains a key element of the U.S. strategy to challenge Chinese and Russian economic exploitation of African nations.
Africans would benefit if African nations graduated into formal bilateral trade agreements with the U.S.
AGOA is more than just about tariffs and duty-free access to markets. Passing this bill will demonstrate that Congress is committed to our long-term relationship with Africa.
Beneficiary countries must also ensure they are not undermining America's national security or foreign policy interests. This now means many Nigerian products will benefit from zero to low tariffs into the U.S. in no distant time. Still looking at the markets, the Nigerian Exchange Group, in collaboration with Germany's Development Finance Institution, among other partners, are positioning Nigerian corporates for access to climate-linked capital, estimated at $2.523 billion. This is under the NGX Net Zero program, a market-led initiative aimed at strengthening the long-term investability and competitiveness of the listed companies.
Today is not just about dialogue. It is about leadership, collaboration, and decisive action.
Still on the capital market, looking at major stocks across Africa, from Nigeria to South Africa, as well as Namibia. The numbers show the Nigerian market had a bit of a Friday fatigue, while the total value of market remains a massive 106.4 trillion naira. Investors were much less active today, with trading volume and market turnover both dropping, but still managed to leave the red zone with a marginal increase of 0.04%. South Africa JSE Top 40 saw a slight pullback as the week ended, dipping by 0.73%. The Namibia NXX also experienced a slight downward trend, dipping by 0.60%. That is it for the week.
Thank you, Benny. Now, the serene green areas in Abuja earmarked as a facelift to not only protect the environment against erosion, but also a means of managing climate change and serving as relaxation centers, are now fading away into structures. In this report, Francis Udojo seeks answers to this development. Hence, every government encourages planting of trees for green areas.
Every city in the world map out reserved spaces for green vegetation, providing recreational centers while providing healthy air for healthy living. Experts revealed that the Abuja master plan had provided 33% of the entire land to be maintained as green area. But the reverse is now the case, as some of these areas have been turned into residential and business areas. While places like the Abuja Millennium Park is still maintaining its original purpose for use, places like Aso Villa, Bega Park, Ministers Hill Maitama, Garden 8, Era 11, and Neighborhood Center Wuse have either been converted to offices, residential, or commercial purposes. Information gathered revealed that some of these conversions came based on FCT administration policy on account of inadequate resources to maintain the huge green areas, pressure in demand for land, security, as well as discourage criminals who use such areas as safe haven.
It is a very worrisome situation. I am appealing to the authority to take a critical look at this.
Apart from government policies, some of such areas are leased to individuals or organizations to maintain. But such agreements are not kept.
At a point, the FCT administration decided to introduce the policy of green swap. Also, individuals will be given a chunk of land. It is initially meant to be green, but we are introducing development. You develop a certain percentage, maybe 40%. So the onus is now on you, the beneficiary of a portion of that plot, to also maintain that green.
Stakeholders advise government to re-engage public-private partnerships and also introduce revenue generation for use of such green areas to ensure proper maintenance. Francis Dojo, NT News.
President Bola Tinubu has paid special tribute to elder statesman and former governor of Osun State, Chief Bisi Akande, as he marks his 87th birthday on January 16, 2026. The president described Chief Akande, the first national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as a key figure in Nigeria's democratic evolution and progressive politics. President Tinubu highlighted Chief Akande's long record of public service, from his early roles in the old Oyo State to his tenure as governor of Osun State between 1999 and 2003. He also noted Akande's crucial role as interim APC chairman, where he helped lay the foundation for the party's historic victory in the 2015 general elections. The president commends Chief Akande's integrity, wisdom and steadfast commitment to democracy, good governance and national development, praying for his continued good health and strength as he remains a respected voice in national affairs. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress celebrates Chief Bisi Akande, a doyen of democracy, elder statesman, former governor of Osun State, and the first interim national chairman of the All Progressives Congress at 87. In a statement signed by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, he describes Akande's life as that of service, which reflects extraordinary contributions to Nigeria's political development and democratic evolution. As he celebrates the remarkable milestone, the party prays for excellent health, more wisdom and strength in his life as he continues to render service to country and humanity. In a separate message, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Mr. Peregrino Kolawole Paul, administrator, strategist and entrepreneur, on his 65th birthday. He praised Mr. Peregrino's disciplined career spanning the insurance sector, the Supreme Court of Nigeria and public service, including his leadership as General Manager of the Lagos State Printing Corporation, and wish him good health and fulfillment in the years ahead. We take a break to bring you some messages. Do stay. We join Ayodeji in the Sports Corner for Sports News. Ayo.
Thanks so much, Lami. We'll begin with this revelation that the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has handed down sanctions to 21 athletes, coaches, and 2 state athletics associations after the conclusion of a special investigation into age falsification at the 2025 African Under-18 and Under-20 Championships in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The investigative panel, set up on December 9, 2025, was tasked with probing allegations of age irregularities involving young Nigerian athletes who had earlier been flagged by the Athletics Integrity Unit AIU of the World Athletics on December 2, 2025. The panel confirmed widespread breaches, revealing that a number of athletes were registered and competed using conflicting age records without any valid or justifiable explanation. Now we'll go straight to the world of football, where Super Eagles take on Egypt in the Africa Cup of Nations, 3rd place in Casablanca. Morocco aiming to set an unprecedented record of winning a 9th bronze medal at the championship, just as Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi is set to return to the starting lineup for the match against Egypt. The Pharaohs lost to Senegal by a lone goal by Sadio Mane, while Nigeria lost 4-2 to Morocco via penalties after regulation and extra times ended goalless. In the domestic semi-final, due to an accumulation of yellow cards, the experienced midfielder is now expected to lead the Super Eagles in what will be their final game of the tournament as the battle for the bronze medal. However, Nigeria will be without defender Calvin Bassey, who is suspended after picking up a booking in the semi-final. Bassey has been one of the Nigeria's standout performers at the tournament, and his absence will be a significant blow to the defense lineup. Now, away from the Super Eagles, Crystal Palace manager Oliver Glasner has confirmed he will leave the club at the end of the season. The Austrian's contract with the Eagles expires in June, and he has made it clear he will not be signing a new deal at Selhurst Park. Speculations has been growing over Glasner's future in recent weeks, and the Palace boss has now addressed the rumors, revealing that he has informed the club chairman Steve Parish of his decision. Glasner will depart as a club legend after guiding Crystal Palace to their first major trophy last season, defeating Manchester City to lift the English FA Cup in May 2025. And that's your sports. It's back to Lami.
Thank you so much, Ayodeji. Now, President Bola Tinubu has expressed sorrow at the passing of Imam Abdullahi Abubakar, the chief imam of Gar village in the Berkeladi local government area of Plateau State, who passed away at 92. The late Imam Abubakar shot international and international prominence for hiding over 200 Christians in 2018 during the communal strife which ravaged Plateau State. A statement from the special advisor to the President's Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, indicates that President Tinubu described the late Imam as an extraordinary religious leader whose lifetime represented a striking testament to faith, courage, and a staunch belief in the sacredness of human life. President Tinubu praised Almighty Allah to grant Imam Abubakar eternal rest and reward him for his good deeds and courage. Now, a few weeks after the widely acknowledged Imam Abubakar Abdullahi appealed to the United States of America to rather support Nigeria to address conflicts in the country, the award-winning peacemaker has passed on. We revisit Ndenyang Adeyaba Gang's report on Imam Abubakar's heroics and passionate appeal for peaceful coexistence.
89-year-old Imam Abdullahi Abubakar, 6 years ago, defied all odds and at the risk of his life when Ngur village in Gashi's district of Barkin Ladi local government area came under heavy attack. Together with the deputy imam, rescued more than 200 Christians who hid in this mosque and his house. This expression of uncommon love earned him recognition and accolades from within and outside the country.
Human beings are diverse and sometimes have conflict. I am appealing to the US President to guide and assist Nigeria.
That day, God do his work on us. Baba Imam and Deputy Imam, we thank God, we thank them.
I hid in one house, but my children ran to the mosque. That is how we were saved.
Is a demonstration that those who work for peace are not from a particular religion or group, but those who seek to do that which benefits humanity. From Ngar village of Gashi's district, Ndenyang Adeyaba Gang, NTA News.
And on that sad note, we come to the end of the news. We also couldn't link up with our caster in Lagos, Yusuf Jibo, for the news due to some technical issues. We apologize sincerely. Do have a beautiful weekend. I am Lami Ali.